You know, for centuries, there's been this one place on the map that's just a total mystery. A huge, white enigma at the very bottom of the world, almost completely out of our reach. Well, today, we're diving headfirst into that frozen world. We're talking about Antarctica.
I mean, it's a place that just completely fires up your imagination, right? It makes you wonder, what is really going on down there? What kind of secrets could a continent possibly keep, buried under an ice sheet that's, get this, nearly 3 kilometers thick in some spots?
So, for years, we've all heard these wild stories coming out of Antarctica. You know, whispers of waterfalls that run red like blood, or this idea of a hidden world of lakes buried deep, deep under all that ice. But how much of that is real? Well, that's what we're here to do. We're going to separate the facts from the fiction and get to the bottom of this continent's real secrets. To really get a handle on the secrets, you first have to understand the place itself. And let me tell you, Antarctica is a continent of absolute extremes. It is, without a doubt, Earth's harshest, most unforgiving environment.
Okay, so this really puts into perspective just how hostile this place is. We're talking temperatures that can drop to minus 90 degrees Celsius, and these insane ice storms that rage at over 300 kilometers an hour. But here's the kicker, the really surprising part. Antarctica is the driest continent on Earth. Yeah, you heard that right. With only about 51 millimeters of rain a year, it's technically a desert, a polar desert.
And yet, even though it's pretty much uninhabitable, look at this. A whole bunch of countries, Australia, France, Norway, the UK, you name it, are all laying claim to these massive chunks of icy desert. Which really makes you ask the question, why? What on earth are they all hoping to find down there?
Well, the answer to that question, it starts with a little bit of history. See, the story of Antarctica isn't just about science. It's also the story of a super competitive, centuries-long race to be the first to conquer this great southern land.
This timeline really shows just how long and grueling the path to discovery really was. The first hints we have come from 7th century Maori legends. It then took all the way until 1773 for Captain Cook to even cross the Antarctic Circle, and he never actually saw the land. It wasn't until 1820 that a Russian explorer, Fabian von Bellingshausen, finally laid eyes on the continent. And that kicked off this heroic age of exploration, which was tragically marked by Robert Falcon Scott's doomed journey in 1911.
And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures how impossible the whole thing seemed back then. After being forced to turn back by this wall of impenetrable ice, Captain Cook himself basically declared that the continent would be forever beyond human reach. Of course, he was proven wrong, but man, it shows you the kind of unbelievable courage and grit it took for anyone to even try.
So humanity finally made it. And once we started setting up research stations, we began to crack those ancient riddles. And the discoveries that followed, well, they would completely flip our understanding of the continent on its head.
The very first, most basic question they tackled was this: has this place always been a world of ice? And the answer they found was a definite and pretty shocking no.
You see, scientists from the Imperial College of London found fossilized wood, which is basically proof that around 90 million years ago, Antarctica was this warm, temperate place totally covered in lush, dense rainforests. It was a world just teeming with life, completely alien to the ice sheet we see today.
Okay, so what about those other mysteries, like the blood falls? For years, this bizarre blood-red waterfall totally baffled explorers, but science finally figured it out. It's not blood at all. It's water from an ancient lake buried under the glacier, completely cut off from the atmosphere. This water is super rich in salt and iron. So when it finally seeps out and hits the air for the first time, the iron oxidizes. It literally rusts, staining the water that spooky red color. And that discovery? It led to an even bigger one. Turns out there isn't just one lake under the ice. There are over 400 of them, a huge hidden network of subglacial lakes, each with its own totally isolated ecosystem. And the life they've started to find down there, it's like something from another planet. We're talking giant sea spiders, transparent jellyfish, a whole world that's been evolving in total darkness for millions of years.
So, yeah, the old mysteries are slowly being solved. But that has just opened the door to a new kind of treasure hunt. One that explains why there's such intense global interest in Antarctica right now. So you can forget about lost civilizations or crashed UFOs. The biggest secret Antarctica holds in the 21st century is what the world's superpowers are scrambling to find and control this very minute right under all that ice. For a long time, the main interest was in the potential for huge reserves of oil and natural gas. But now, that focus has shifted big time. The real prize today is something way more critical to our modern world:
rare earth minerals.
And these aren't just some random rocks. These are literally the building blocks of our entire technological society. I mean, just look at this. We're talking about minerals like terbium, which is probably in the smartphone you're holding right now, or dysprosium, essential for electric car motors, and praseodymium for batteries. This is the stuff that powers the future, and Antarctica might just be sitting on a gigantic untapped supply.
And this brings us to the future, because whatever happens in this frozen, remote continent is going to have some pretty profound consequences for the rest of us.
It's not just about what's buried under the ice. It's also about the massive ocean that surrounds it. The Southern Ocean acts as a critical climate regulator for the entire planet. Just look at this number. Scientists figure it absorbs a staggering 15% of all global carbon emissions. That makes it one of Earth's most important natural defenses against climate change.
And here's the great ironic twist. As global warming continues, the very ice that has protected Antarctica for so long is beginning to melt. And as it melts, those huge mineral resources, and maybe even vital new shipping routes, are becoming accessible for the first time in human history.
Which all leaves us with one final, crucial question. As this great white continent reveals its last secrets, what are we going to find? Will we discover a treasure trove that helps secure a clean energy future for all? Or is the race for its resources going to trigger a new great game, a global conflict fought over the last untouched frontier on Earth? The future, it seems, may very well be forged in ice.